Hi, it's Odeean here. Today I've got another KO. This is the KO of MP-19 Smokescreen. This is probably the best KO out of any of them done so far. The box is very good. I'm not going to go in depth on the box because these things are getting so close now that in many instances it's just impossible to tell. So suffice to say, it's a pretty awesome box. The figure itself, when you take it by itself without doing a direct comparison with the official version, is pretty nice. At first glance, the paint seems very even without too many defects. The joints all seem nice and tight. Everything seems pretty good. Unlike the Streak, I think it was Streak, the last one I had, the head is not so bad. So if you didn't know what the real Smokescreen head looked like, you may be forgiven for thinking that this is the same. It looks almost the same. It's not. I do have the official one here, and on camera the difference seems less than in person. If you look at the lip area, you can see he's got more of a narrow face. It almost looks like he's making some kind of little sucky face there, whereas the official one has a fuller kind of lower lip and just looks a little bit more normal. He's got more of a normal face. This guy looks like he's just put something sour in his mouth, or maybe he's trying to whistle. It's a bit hard for me to tell if on camera the difference in color is coming through. It's not a huge difference, but definitely to the naked eye, the KO version is a little bit darker in color, and it almost has that look where you have a black undercoat or a black plastic and then you paint over it and the black shows through a little bit. I'm not sure if that is what happened or if it's just a different tone, but it does have that definite blackness to it that the real one doesn't have. The official Takara Tommy one is more of just a glossy, vibrant red, and I don't see that undertone of black showing through at all. Both Autobot symbols are pretty good, but the official one has a more crisp and thin white line on the Autobot symbol, where the Autobot symbol on this KO version, it's almost as if the mask had a little bit of bleed and the lines became thicker after they were laid down. That's what it seems like to me. And you'll see also when I get really up close like this, those little bumps under the paint. Now, I don't think that's got anything really to do with the fact that it's a KO. I've had defects of one kind or another in all kinds of official ones as well, so that's kind of more natural variance, but this particular one has some little splotches under the hood paint there. I mean, if I bring the official one up, you can see he doesn't have bumps, but he does have some little paint flecks which have just flown onto the paint while it was setting, so there's always some variance. Because there's a lot of text on Smokescreen, you'd think that there's more room for error, but the text and number on the door I can't tell apart, so that's been pulled off perfectly. This is the official one, this is the KO. The writing at the front is a little bit different, which is weird. So on the KO version, the text is a little bit more narrow. On the official version over here, it's a little bit fatter. So which one gets fat and which one doesn't seems to change depending on what they're printing. So there was the symbol and then the writing are opposite on each side. So it's not making it that easy to go by which is official if you're trying to figure it out from pictures. Looking at these blasters that connect to his shoulders, there's not much difference. I mean, I'm looking straight at it, trying to figure out what's going on. If anything, there's kind of a slightly gappiness in this one where the two halves don't perfectly meet. I mean, you still get a gap in the official, but it's much more straight. Like, this gap is a little bit wonky, and it seems almost as if the edges and detail on this fake one are definitely KO'd and not made in the same place. They look a little bit more spongy. Probably the most noticeable paint difference is on where the see-through plastic has been painted. So definitely we get a blackness showing through on this KO version. The official version is still nice, vibrant red. That's the most dramatic difference I can see. And looking at the edge up here, to my naked eye, this red is almost blending with the black plastic molded detail there, and on camera that's not really showing up. Like my camera, when I'm watching it here, is showing that up much redder than it is. In person, this section is the tone is starting to get pretty black. The official version here is nice and red the whole way across, and is very different from the black plastic in the center there. All the joints on the KO are beautiful and tight. And look at that, it can easily hold its own weight. Very stiff joints there. Feels nice and stiff here. All the joints are pretty tight. No complaints whatsoever with the joints. The gun perfectly tabs in, so they've finally fixed these tolerance issues with the gun. No tolerance problem whatsoever. It just tabs in exactly like it's meant to. If I can find the hole. Hang on, my fat fingers are just making it a bit hard. There we go. So you can see that's tabbed in nice and secure. Maybe these things are not so secure. These seem to rattle around a little bit compared to the official one. So if anything's loose, it might be the way these things join on. I did mention the seam there before. Maybe that's just been molded a little bit off. The only true paint defect on the figure is a tiny bit of bleed out on this area here. So you can see where there's a white detail, the orange has kind of moved across. If I show you the official, you'll see that isn't the case with the official, and a tiny little bit of overspray under the hood up here. Again, on the official there is no overspray there. Very, very minor defects. There's not much else to say. I'm not going to transform these into car mode. We've all seen the cars, and in these instances these both look and function exactly the same, and the only differences are the ones I've already shown with the slightly darker paint color. There's no transformation issues with this guy. As with my Streak, he did ship with this sticking up like this, and it seems to me that whoever's in the factory putting these together, if I can focus on it, doesn't realize that this is meant to be around the other way, because they keep shipping them up like that, but it does turn around quite easily. So that's about it. I paid $35 shipped for this. So if I was to buy a Voyager transformer here in Australia, it would be about $50. So I'm getting, with this case, true Masterpiece quality for $35 shipped, no more, which is just amazing. And I mean, I've said it before, buy the originals. You get the advantage of getting it first when you get the original. Like, I'll be getting my Wheeljack soon, I guess, and I'm not going to wait for him to be KO'd or anything like that. Get the KOs just so you can have your fun and not worry about wrecking it. Thanks for watching. This has been my video review of KO version of Smokescreen. I'm odeean. See you later.